Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know that I have begun my deep dive into the Lenormand system, right? The system that was begun in Germany under the name of, translated into English, the Game of Hope, but when it moved over to France, it gained the name of Madame Lenormand, and from there its history, right? The Lenormand deck has spread all around the globe. And right now I'm in Korea, and they sell Lenormand decks here. I'm just saying. So, yes, it's a popular deck, and it's a very interesting deck, and it's an intriguing deck, and I'm still working my way into reading with this system. And I'm learning a lot, and I hope that you're getting something out of my journey with the Lenormand as well. And as you know, I have gone off on a slight detour from my deep dive into the Lenormand. I've included a Lenoracul instead of a Lenormand deck, and I'll talk about that briefly when I show you the spread. The first time, after I show you the spread, I'll describe the decks and I'll talk about why this is a Lenoracul. But before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you first. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing all those things you do. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for commenting below as well. Those of you who leave comments are a blessing to me, and I love hearing from you. I'd love to engage with you on this process, in this journey of exploring the Lenormand. So, to all of you who do those things, thank you. And also, I also want to thank you for doing those things because you help other people find the channel. Yeah? All those little bits of engagement that you do tells YouTube that this channel might be beneficial to other people. And so YouTube will show the channel to other people who can find our community and join us on these journeys together, right? So thank you for doing that. And also, just in case you're curious about my personal reading, if you want a reading from me, I will have a QR code up here that you can scan with your phone, or you can use the address in the description box below, right? It's not a difficult one to remember. It's derekjohnthomas.com. Go to that site, you will find my shop, and there's a selection of readings that you might want to check out and perhaps order a reading from me personally. I would be overjoyed to do that for you. So there are all those things. And also, by the time you see this, I will have already changed the name of the channel. I had a poll on the community tab. Now, you all know what a community tab is, right? If you go to the channel page, you will see a little menu that has things like home, videos, playlists, and one of the tabs is a community tab. And if you click on that, I will sometimes put up polls or maybe ask you to look at a spread and see what you think. Yeah? So on that community tab, I had a poll. And the poll was to explore whether or not I wanted to change the name of the title of this channel, the name of this channel, and 50% of you voted for this new title, this new name of the channel. Yeah, it was originally just Derek John Thomas, but now it's Tarot for the Intentional Life. So the new title name is due to you. Thank you for your help. Thank you very much. And friends, I said that I've got a spread already laid out, at least I hinted at it. And before we get to the spread, let's bring our awareness, our consciousness, our minds and our hearts and our spirits together on a topic. And the topic, I think, is probably clearly stated in the title of this video, though I have not landed on a title yet at the time of this video recording. It could have changed, but I think the title is there. I mean, the topic is there in the title. And what is that? What is that? Right now, we're in what we call the holiday season, right? It depends on what traditions you follow, whether it's Christmas or it's Hanukkah, or you're anticipating Kwanzaa or the New Year or Yule, or it's the holiday season, right? And the holiday season is a time of busyness, hopefully fun business and enjoyable busyness, but busyness and wrapping up the year. And this is a time when grounding is significantly important, right? We probably all hear that from many different sectors of our lives. You got to get grounded. You want to be grounded. You want to stay grounded in this holiday season, right? Well, how do you do that? We hear a lot of advice. We hear a lot of possibilities. We might want to reduce our engagement with social media, for example. Yeah, I find for myself that while social media can be enjoyable and engaging and informative, a lot of the stuff that also comes in with that information and that enjoyment is distracting at best and disheartening at worst and confusing at times as well, and will sometimes weaken my sense of being grounded, right? We might want to limit the amount of time we go online and search for things, right? Search out information, searching for products, searching for stuff. Searching for stuff can pull us away from our sense of feeling grounded because we're looking for things. We feel like we need to find things, and that is an ungrounded place. That's an ungrounded attitude. That's an ungrounded sense of self in the world. Now, self in the world, maybe that's the title. Self in the world? Maybe, we'll see. Self in the world feels like what? It feels like we are here in our bodies, in our homes, whether we're talking about our physical homes or our personal space, our homes, these bodies that we are beautifully co-creating. As eternal beings having these human experiences. Feeling here and at home is that feeling of being grounded. And when we're pulled away from that, trying to find things or being overwhelmed perhaps, or even unsettled by information coming at us, or we feel like we're not enough, or there's too much to do, or there are too many activities, or there are too many things to think about, we lose or at least we weaken our sense of being grounded. So, all through the year, but especially at this holiday season, in this holiday season, remembering to allow ourselves the time and the space, not once a day, not twice a day, but throughout the day, throughout the days, to reconnect, to be sure that we are here in these homes that we call our bodies. That we are here in this time and space and not dashing off to a fantasized, both positive or negative, fantasized future, or plunging into the depths of our remembered past which are gone and no longer exist. Now, we want to be grounded and present in the now. Why do we want to do that? Why is that helpful? Because when we are grounded and we are here in the now, when we have ourselves fully present, we have fuller access to several things, including the power of intention. right? When we are grounded and we are present, we are also open. We're open to taking advantage of the power of intention, which is what this whole channel is about. Yeah, the power of intention to move us smoothly, beautifully, lovingly, joyfully, in well-being and pure awareness through our experiences of every moment, of every day, in this season that we call the holidays. We also have access to the fullness of the knowledge that we carry as eternal beings, even though these wonderful human brains that we have are very useful tools, they do not and they cannot carry the full information that we have as eternal beings. And yet we have much more access to that information, to those to that understanding, to the bliss that's available as the fullness of our eternal being having this human experience. We have access to so much more, and we can give so much more, and we can be so much more effective in our movement through time and space during these holidays. If we are here, we are grounded, and we are open to both intention and the fullness of ourselves, and the divine, and all of those other non-physical beings that we might want to name and label, which I think those names and labels can be helpful sometimes, but are not the truth of what that is, right? Because the non-physical is nameless. The moment we put a name on that essential nature of all that is before it became physically manifested, we've put it into a box and limited its potential for us. We haven't limited its potential at all, but for us and our understanding of it, we've limited it. So let's break open those boxes. Let's break open those structures in a radical sense of groundedness, of grounding and openness and opening during this holiday season. And I think that's part of the direction that this week's spread is pointing towards, although it might not seem so as we move through the spread. But let's find out. Let's find out together. How will we do this? First, I will show you the entire spread, and I will tell you which decks we are using and what the spread generally indicates. What I mean is, what kind of a spread is it? And then we'll break the spread down into its two major parts and read those parts together. Friends, are you all ready? I hope you are, because here we go. Here is this week's spread. So friends, you saw two decks there, right? It might be a little bit difficult to distinguish because they're both by the same author, they're both about the same size, and they both are the same minimalist line style, right? So what I had above it, the line of 5 cards, is what is called a Lenorical. This is the Lenorical by Thomas of the Hermit's Mirror. Yes, I think so. And there'll be a link in the description box below, and the correct name will be down there. I'm having a little bit of a brain glitch. I think that's the correct name. And the Lenorical is called the Lifeline Lenorical. And why is it a Lenorical? Well, the Lenormand deck originally has 36 cards, right? It has all of the court cards, and it has the ace, the 6, the 7, 8, 9, and 10 for all of the suits, which adds up to 36 cards, right? And that's why we usually have a playing card insert in the more traditional decks. This oracle is based on playing cards, in a sense, right? So what did Thomas do? Thomas added in those missing 2, 3, 4, 5s for all of the suits. So we've got an oracle deck of 52 cards based on the Lenormand with additional symbols which I think are woven beautifully within the Lenormand system to enlarge it to a 52-card deck, which Thomas calls the Lenorical. So we're continuing with this Lenorical, and you had a 5-card line up spread. Yeah, and we'll read that spread in a couple of different ways. The central card is generally the main idea of the spread. And the 3 cards below are from the same artist's tarot deck called the Lifeline Tarot. And this is the original version, which is smaller and has no color. It's black and white. And the way that this deck is drawn is the artist put the pen down on the medium, the paper probably, and drew in one continuous line the entire image that you see on each of the cards. So we don't see all of the image from, if we think of like Pamela Coleman Smith's rendering of the Tarot, the Smith-Waite deck. It is based on that, but we've got missing pieces, and that's okay. I can still see the full image revealing itself through each one of these cards. Can you? Maybe you'll see it more clearly when we focus on those cards. But this is the Lifeline Tarot. And there will be links in the description box. Well, there will be a link in the description box for both of these decks because it's the same creator, it's the same site. So look around at what he's got. Wonderful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful art. Beautiful, beautiful mind, beautiful spirit behind these decks. And I'm really grateful for Thomas for doing these works of art. So and now, the spread. So the 3 cards down there, what are they telling us? These are in what we call a positional spread, right? Just in case you don't know what that means, it means that each one of the cards is responding to either a question or a prompt. And for this 3-card spread below, the first card is a significator. It's the significant response to the question of what is the spread above it trying to say. Now, the second card is the challenge, and that challenge can be positive, something we want to reach for, try to attain, or something that could be a challenging situation in the sense of an obstacle or something that makes what we're trying to do difficult. The third card is advice. Pretty clear cut, right? Okay, so friends, we're going to look at the Lenormand spread in depth right now. We'll read that together. So first I will show you those cards again, just as a little reminder, and then we'll start reading. Are you ready? Here are the Lenorical cards right now. Friends, you just saw from left to right we had 5 cards, and the first was the mice, the second was the rider, the third was the house, the fourth was the bouquet, and the fifth was the sun. Right? So left to right we had those cards, and you'll notice that all of these cards are actually from the original Lenormand deck, right? There were none of the extra cards for this week's spread. And you also probably know that I like to get a sense, before we actually read each card in a series and in their order, I like to get a sense of the overall energy of the spread, right? So if we think of positivity, negativity, neutrality, right? The mice, the first card right out of the box, is pretty negative. Now, the mice is a negative card. And the rider is traditionally positive. Could be a little bit on the neutral side, but positive, right? The house is a positive neutral card. The bouquet is a positive card. And the sun is the super positive card of the Lenormand deck, yeah? The person that I first really learned Lenormand with put 3 pluses after the sun, because it's not just positive, it's positive on steroids, right? It's the most positive card in the deck from my original teacher. So we've only got 1 negative card, Everything else is positive or negative, so there's a lot of positive energy in this spread. You'll also notice that we have 2 hearts, 1 diamond, which are only brought down a little bit by the spade and then the clubs, right? So the clubs and the kind of knocks out one of the hearts, you might say, and the spade might knock out the diamond, and we're left with 1 heart. So it's even as far as playing cards, this is a positive spread. Yes? And what? I didn't mention this before, but earlier in this video, when I was describing the spread as a whole, I mentioned playing card inserts, but I didn't mention that this Lenorical, another one of the wonderful things about this Lenorical is that instead of having a large card with the symbol of the card being the central main image and then a little playing card insert, we've got the playing card, right? With a little drawing of the symbol added to that playing card. So it's kind of like a topsy-turvy Lenormand in addition to being a supplemented Lenorical. So it's a really fascinating deck, and it's a fun deck to use. So yes, seems like a very positive spread, and I agree. But and the central card is the house, which is positive, and that's where I got the idea of grounding. Yeah, of being grounded, being in our homes. And that home could be the actual physical structure, but I think for us right now, the idea is to be here, present in these homes that our spirits are inhabiting, rather than the homes that these bodies are inhabiting, the homes that our eternal nature is inhabiting, these wonderful homes of the physical body that we are co-creating. Yes? So, that's the main idea, or the main, the focal theme for this spread. Being here, fully present in our space. And we're going to start up still with the mice, right? The mice. What are the mice? We see that these mice, by the way, these mice were in the same place last week, right? Just saying. So we've still got the same idea placed in the same place of things being eaten away or things being dirtied. And the way that I tend to read the mice is that the place where the side where the mouth is, that's being eaten away. The side with the butt, yeah, where the tail is and things come out, that's the side that points towards things that are being dirtied or sullied, right? So you'll notice that the mice in this card are pointing in different directions. So how do you choose? Well, I decided that the mice that seem to be in the foreground, which would be, which ones? Which would be these 2 little guys here, where my finger is. We're going to use those as the indicators, right? They're a little bit bigger and they look to be a little bit more in the foreground. So, which means that things that on this side of the card, would be things that are being eaten away, and things on this side of the card would be things being sullied. And the whole spread is on this side of the card. So these mice are pooping on the thing coming next. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have this. So the mice, they undermine. They eat away at things. They dirty. And they're not big problems, right? I mean, individually, they're not big problems. They're little. They're little problems. They're little things that get into places that we don't want them to be, and they take away stuff that we don't want them to take away. They cause damage to things, right? Now, I don't know if you live in a place that has huge rats where they can actually pose danger to life. That's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at little mice that individually are problematic, are irritants. They're not going to cause you to starve if it's just one, right? They'll gnaw holes in your flour bag maybe, or they'll gnaw holes in your rice bag or your box of cereal so that they could get to the food inside, but they won't eat all of the food inside, and it's a little problem. Like a leaky faucet in the kitchen is a little problem, whereas a broken faucet in the bathroom where you can't turn off the water at all, that is a big problem. It'll flood your house, right? So, these are little problems, but these little problems can add up if there are many of them coming in at the same time. So that's where we get this idea of little problems piling up if we allow them to. Right? Or little bits of dirt, of sullenness can become large piles of dirt and sullenness, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say the S word, do I? Okay, I'll say it. Shit. A whole bunch of shit. One little rat will give little pellets of poop, right? But they swarm, and then that will increase and accumulate. So the amount of dirtying can increase if we don't take care of it. And so, what is the thing that's being dirtied or sullied? The first thing that receives that dirt and shit directly is going to be the writer card, which is a positive card. So the first bit of the spread is being dirtied. And what is a writer? A writer is a person who brings messages, right? Think of, if you're an American, Paul Revere. Now if you're British, but the British are coming. Yeah, we had problems back in a couple hundred years ago, getting close to 300. Well, 250 years. Anyways, so we had problems, but it's that kind of messenger. Yeah, the Pony Express. Now there was. Okay, again, United States reference, I'm sorry, but the Pony Express in the United States, these ponies would ride across the country and carry letters. Not big packages, not a lot of stuff, but enough that you could fit, small things that you could fit into a satchel. The bigger stuff would be put on the Wells Fargo wagon. Yeah, there was a wagon that went across the country. It was slower. The horse rider would be faster, and they'd change horses as they would go along so that the horse wouldn't get worn out and sick and die. So they would change horses, and they would go quickly across the country with messages. So this is a quick message, a bringer of quick messages. Small messages, but messages. And it's also the movement of the horse, right? Things that are moving quickly, things that go smoothly, things that can suddenly appear in our lives. Now, if it's a man, it could be a young man. It could be a visitor, probably a male visitor, perhaps a male lover, perhaps some kind of an athlete could be possible here, or there's a tradition of the writer being a gay man. So if you've got a gay man in your life, this could be that person being sullied somehow, dirtied somehow, being crapped on. But probably for most of us, it's the news, right? It's news that comes in that's not bright, uplifting, it's dirty, it's sullied, or the news sullies, right? The messages are sullying. They eat away, they dirty us. Things that were going smoothly can also be dirtied as well. Yeah, things don't feel like they're going right, or the things that we're hearing don't feel good. That's the kind of thing we're getting here. Or the crap can suddenly appear. Yeah, maybe the crap appears, boom, without our expecting it. And so we get to the next card, which is what? The writer is writing in the direction of, is bringing this crap into our heart space, our house space. It is the King of Hearts, but our house space, our homes, the place where we live, our privacy, our safe space, our security. That's what a house is, right? It's a place where we feel comfortable, hopefully. If you don't feel comfortable in your home, find help. Please find help. Our homes could and should be and can be places of security and comfort, and the place where we are able to allow things to, distractions to stay outside, and we can find our comfort. We can rest here. Now, it requires our maintenance, surely. Just like our bodies require our maintenance, we should keep up with them, keep them clean, right? Feed them good stuff. We want to keep our bodies and our homes and our safe spaces healthy and healthful, of course. Now, the house can also be a man as well. This one would be an older man, right? A father figure, the head of a family, perhaps, even a house husband. Yeah, a man who takes care of the house, it could be that. Generally on the older side, a warm, loving figure. So if you got somebody like that in your life, maybe this news is affecting him. If you don't, probably it's us, right? It's most probably us. Our feelings of security and comfort in our bodies are getting the brunt of this dirty news, of these messages of things suddenly appearing that are unsettling, that don't feel good, that the writer is carrying from the butts of the mice, right? So this is the first place I think we want to clean up. I don't think we can clean up the writer, because the writer is the thing coming towards us. But coming towards us doesn't mean we have to receive it all. And we have the potential to close the door. Does that make sense? We don't have to let that writer in. We have the possibility to discern which writers we want to let in and which writers we want to allow to pass us by. So that's why I was thinking of things like social media or going out and searching for information. Maybe this is a time to allow that to at least be reduced or stop. Or be discerning about what things and ways that we are going to search for information or receive it. Yeah? So that we can feel the positive sense of the house, of being home, here in these bodies, in this time and space. And then if we can do that, what is the benefit? The Queen of Spades here with the bouquet. What is a bouquet? A bouquet is something it's a gift that we receive, generally. And we could buy it for ourselves. We could gift ourselves with a bouquet. But traditionally, a bouquet is something that we gift to other people, right? It's a way to say thank you. It's a way to congratulate. It sometimes has strings attached, and I don't mean the ribbon or the wire that binds the flowers together, but we sometimes give a bouquet expecting to get something else in return in the future, whether it's assistance or it's attention or it's the benefits of that other person's success. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of a catch to this recipient, the receiving of the bouquet. We might want to check why are we getting it? Sometimes. But the bouquet is a positive card, really. It's good fortune, it's happiness and pleasure. It can be charm and refinement, yes. These flowers have been gathered and arranged in a beautiful, charming, elegant way. The grace of a flower, the grace of the giving of flowers. Now, the giving of flowers, have you ever, well, okay, so giving of flowers at a funeral will not always inspire this, but except for the giving of flowers at a funeral, will 99.99999% inspire a smile and inspire happiness in the recipient. Now, so that's also part of this, right? The inspiration of happiness and joy even. It can be an invitation to something like a party, or it could be a job interview, or hanging out with friends, or going to the movies, but an invitation can be indicated here as well. Something we're invited to. And during this holiday season, probably this is the time of year when the most invitations are extended. Most. Now, personally, I don't expect to receive any invitations this holiday season because I live far away from people I know. But this is the time of year when most people will receive a lot of invitations. And so, to receive this good fortune, to receive this happiness, this pleasure, to feel the grace that this kind of a symbol embodies. First, we want to be at home in ourselves. And if we accomplish this, this can ensue. Now, the bouquet can also be a woman, right? The Queen of Spades, a diplomatic, charming woman. Could be a widow or a single woman. Could be a stylish or a confident woman. So if you have somebody like that in your life, that person, you might have a better interaction with and better relations with that person, having accomplished the ideas and the advice from the house card, right? Which is wonderful. And with those two, yeah, we get grounded, we feel here at home, and we feel comfortable in our homes, whether they're, again, the architecture or these bodies. We feel at home here. We feel fully present. We can receive this grace, and we can express that grace. We can give the gifts as well, which flows directly into happiness, success, growth, the triple positive, warm light of the sun. The beautiful things in life can be ours during this holiday season, especially in this coming week, if we do the work indicated in this spread, right? This final card is the sun. Wonderful, perfect happiness, joy, warmth in this cold time of winter if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, in this cold time of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. So, what a wonderful promise for doing the work of attention, discernment, grounding. Right? Doesn't that make sense? I think this is wonderful. I think this is a wonderful spread. And I did not think this was a wonderful spread when I first laid it out. And honestly, so, behind the scenes, yeah? I would normally have recorded this video. Today is, okay, this is about 4 days ago. Yeah? 4 days ago is the time I have in my schedule to record these videos. And I left my cards at home. So I could not record this video then. I had my information, I had it all arranged, I was all ready, but I left the cards at home. So I did not want to even try to read. And then I came in today and I was looking at the spread and I was thinking, what the heck am I going to say? What is this trying to say? What is this trying to tell me? And with you, doing this with you, and I'm grateful for you, doing this with you has helped me, I think, to discover what this spread is trying to tell us. Yeah, and we've got a couple of other ways to read the spread. We're not done yet with this part of the spread. We've got the mirrors, right, around the house. And the first pair of mirrors around this central idea of being here, being grounded, being secure, and at home. The two things we have are the rider and the bouquet. So if we do that, instead of the dirtied rider coming with crap into our lives, what do we get? We have the rider moving in to us, not carrying, but with riding into us and us receiving good fortune, happiness, pleasure, right? Maybe coming into an invitation. Maybe the rider is bringing an invitation. Maybe we will get more invitations in this way. Or maybe not more, but the most beneficial, the most positive invitations. Not all invitations are positive, right? Sometimes the invitation is a burden. But the invitations that will allow us to blossom like the flowers in the bouquet, those invitations might be more available to us than some of the distracting and unsettling and burdensome invitations that we might also get. Does that make sense? Yeah? So we may get more benefit, we might get more luck, we might get more grace and charm coming into our lives with the rider. Not that the rider is bringing them to us, but when the rider arrives, that is what we will be experiencing. If that makes sense. Yeah? Now the next pair is a little challenging, right? Yeah? The mice and the sun. Now, when the mice and the sun meet, who wins? The sun wins. What does that mean? It means to me that if we do this work and we are able to embody and to open ourselves to the inner sun that is in each of us. We have this power within us. We have this energy. We have this joy and happiness. It's here. If we allow it to shine, if we allow this sun to shine, maybe it will then clear away the dirt from the mice. Right? It will overwhelm. It will dry up and scatter the crap that the mice have brought to us. It might dry it up and it'll blow away. If we're able to embody the fullness of the sun that is in each of us. Whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we've buried it and hidden it away from ourselves or not, it's there. The most depressed person, the most powerless feeling person in the world has within him or them the sun. It's not gone. It's not been destroyed. It's not been taken away. It's there. It's buried. It's buried under layers, perhaps, and layers and layers and layers of mice crap. But if we do that work of discernment, clarifying, clearing, finding our space, the sun will be revealed. That makes sense, doesn't it? And that's how I think we want to be in the world during this this holiday season, yes? Now there's one more thing we can consider. Now we add the playing cards up. So going from left to right, I should say, this is your perspective. Going from left to right, we start off with 7 plus 9. I'm going from mice, rider, house, etc., right? So the playing cards are 7 plus 9, which gives us 16, right? Plus 13 for the king. That gives us 26, 7, 8, 9, 29, right? And then we've got the queen, which gives us 12, right? So it's 39, 40, 41. And then we have an ace, so 42. Right? The ace is the sun. 42. There is no 42nd card in the Lenormand. So we've got to add those up. 40 plus 2 are added up to be 6. And what is 6? 6 is the clouds card. What are the clouds? Clouds are confusion. The clouds are problems and delays. Things not going smoothly. Yeah? It could be a little bit of darkness. An opaque window between us and what we want to see. It can be oppressing or depressing at its most severe, but generally it's mostly the fog or the clouds that prevent us from seeing clearly, prevent us from understanding clearly, causing confusion and delays. Which really describes that the whole sense of the mice dirtying up the things that are coming into our lives. Yeah? And the dirtied messages, the dirtied news, also things not going smoothly because there's a lot of crap in our way. All of that together gives us that sense of clouds, which we can disperse, again, by grounding, by being fully present here, feeling safe, feeling secure in our bodies, in this time and space. Yes, I think that's what this spread is pointing towards. Now we got 3 cards from the Tarot to help us unpack this or repack this, tie it up in a very intriguing way. Are you ready for those 3 cards? Well, here they are. Friends, you saw those 3 cards. From left to right, we had the Chariot. The Chariot's been popping up for us in this, working with these decks together, right? Now, we had the Chariot, then we had the Devil, then we had the Knight of Pentacles, right? So what does that tell us? Well, the first thing, and this makes a lot more sense now that we've read the 5 cards from the Lenormand above. It made a little bit of sense, but now I really get it. Thanks to you. And the first card, the Chariot, love this image of the Chariot. It's simple, it's really reduced, right? But we see everything we need to see. We see the guy, or the person I should say, the royal figure. Inside the chariot, we see the 2 sphinxes, we see the symbol on the front of the chariot, right? The Yani Linga. It's a wonderful redrawing, I think. And who is the chariot? Right? The charioteer is the one who sits in the chariot, and this charioteer has 2 creatures pointing in different directions. So the charioteer wants to bring these creatures together, pointed in the same direction, and moving in the direction that the charioteer wants to move in, right? So this is a card of willpower, of success, of victory, of action, determination, control. Now, of moving forward, making the decision. It comes after the lover card, or the lover's card, which could be the making of a choice, choosing the best path or the best option or the best person. And then after you make the choice, then you got to move with it, right? So this is the movement forward with that. We move forward with our willpower in the most negative, I would say negative sense. We move forward with willpower, or we move forward with intention and will. So we want to do that. So the significant answer is we want to engage our will to achieve success. We want to take determined actions forward. And what are those determined actions? Well, the ones that we've talked about in order for us to find our grounded homes. Now remember, when we ground in these bodies that we have, these bodies are mobile. That's why I think the house card being the idea of our physical architectural homes is not what that house card is pointing towards for us in this spread. That house, I think, is pointing towards these bodies, being here at home in these bodies that can also move forward with intention, being open to intention, taking advantage of that power to move forward like the charioteer. Using our will to be selective, to discern what we will allow to enter our homes, our heads, our hearts, our guts, so that we can move forward on a clear path, clear of the crap of the mice can be bringing, into a successful future. That will require our determination, our will, a little bit of our control. Not control over other people, but control of our choices. Right? Because our choices are not a one and done deal. We make a choice, then there's another choice, then there's another choice, and then there's another choice. So to keep this cart, this chariot moving in the direction we want to move, in the state of having full access to intention, asks of us to make discerned decisions without being scared of the decisions, right? We don't have to, am I making the right decision now? Where is my cart? My cart's tipping this way. Open, grounded, clear, present will move us forward more smoothly. Some of the bumps on the road are for our benefit. So, an anticipation or expectation that there will be no pebbles or rocks on the road that we are moving forward when we open to intention is less than helpful. Yes, we want to allow those obstacles to arise because that will keep us interested, engaged. We will learn from those experiences. We will evolve. Our decisions will become more refined or more diverse. But if we do that open, with clarity, discerning what we will allow to enter our homes, all will be well. And the challenge is the devil, right? You see the devil. You see the two figures below the devil, right? Sorry, I thought I saw snow falling. We had snow yesterday here. You see the two figures, and you can kind of see, that the female-looking figure is chained. You can kind of see that the more male-looking figure might be chained as well. So we got everything needed in this card, I believe. We see the devil, the torch being held, Yeah, the torch being held down, the other hand being held up, as above, so below, but the energy is being directed down, right? And the two figures below the devil feel chained. So what is the devil? The devil can be things like shadow self. It can be attachments. It can be temptations. It can be sexuality. It can be seduction in both a positive or a negative way. Some seduction is nice. Yes. Some seduction actually is positive. Yes. Between consenting adults in the right place and the right time, it can be a very positive thing. It can also be restrictions and bondage. So the challenge here, I think, with the devil card is twofold. One, to relieve ourselves of the bondage we have to whatever negative stuff that we've already accumulated. The challenge is to unbind ourselves. But there's also that sense of addiction in the devil card as well. Addiction to what? It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be something, it could be a substance. But I think because we're reading in response to the spread above, the addiction, I think, is to habits. Addiction to, perhaps, the way that we engage with social media. Addiction to, perhaps, shopping. Addiction to things that draw negative stuff to us rather than the addictions of, and it could include addictions to substances like, again, alcohol, drugs, and shopping can be an addiction, sex can be an addiction, but I think right now we're focusing on instead of the things that the most common addictions, I think we're thinking of the addictions to habits that open ourselves to the negative coming in. Rather than the actual negative being the addiction, the habits that we have that allow the negative to be brought into us. Does that make sense? That's the challenge. Twofold. Unchaining ourselves and disengaging with those habits that allow the negative stuff to come in. The third card over here was the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this Knight of Pentacles, it's a beautiful drawing, but we know that the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of the knights, right? The Knight of Pentacles is what? Is not Capricorn, not, let's see, mutable earth. What is mutable earth? Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Yeah, Virgo. Yes, the Knight of Pentacles is Virgo, right? So let's see. The Prince of... Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just work this out for just a moment. So, the Prince of... No. Okay, so the knights are fixed. Taurus. Yes. So, the Knight of Pentacles is Taurus. I'm sorry. So what is Taurus too? What is Taurus? Taurus is... won't be rushed. They move at their own pace. They have a sense of beauty, right? Taurans enjoy beauty. Taurus is the domicile, one of the domiciles of Venus, right? So that enjoyment of beauty, of sensuality is here. Wonderful, wonderful attributes. But also of moving at a deliberate pace, not moving quickly, not excited movement forward, but moving at a slow and steady pace, which is what we think of when we think of the Knight of Pentacles, I believe. So we have the idea of working, productivity, but a methodical movement forward. Yeah, rational planning, stable action, reliability, and following our routines, maintaining that which we already have as we make more bit by bit by bit, step by step by step. So the advice is, don't rush forward, right? The advice is move at a steady, stable pace, grounded, enjoying the pleasures that are around us in this holiday season, enjoying what is available to us, instead of reaching for and grasping for things that seem to be far away from us, which closes us off to a great extent from the power of intention, and also brings a burden of negative thinking and a negative mindset. Instead, we move forward at a steady, stable, reliable pace. We do the work, and we enjoy the pleasures that are here in the now, in the present. If you have, for example, if you have a Christmas tree at home, great. If you don't have a Christmas tree at home and you like Christmas trees and you see a Christmas tree on your path, enjoy that Christmas tree. Rather than, oh, I wish I had that Christmas tree at home. I don't have anything at home. I'm poor. I'm unhappy. Bringing yourself down, right? Blaming it on circumstances, but bringing yourself down. We don't want to do that. That's not doing what this spread is asking us to do. That's going out and finding the rat crap and bringing it and picking it up and sticking it in your bag and bringing it home with you. We don't want to do that. We want to enjoy what we have, whatever that is, and move forward. And in a grounded, open sense, we may receive more bouquets. And we may give more bouquets. And we may get more invitations that are uplifting and joyful for us. And it might be one invitation, it might be no invitations. That's not necessary. But being here and present in the now, that is what we are asking of ourselves right now, I believe. Can you see that? If you can, let me know in the comments below. If you cannot, let me know in the comments below. How would you read this spread? What does this say to you? I'd love to hear from you. And friends, I really do hope this will be out way before Christmas, I'm sure. But still, in advance, I really hope that your holiday season is a blessed one. And now and always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.